everybody, this is my 1991 Nissan 240SX autocross car. I've had this car since 2007. Bought it as a bare bones shell that was all cut up and front end crashed after my last project car got tragically destroyed by the worst vehicle ever made, the PT Cruiser. After picking up the shambles that was that car and merging it onto this chassis, it has become a decade-long project, making it into a fun, streetable but autocrossable car. It's pretty difficult to do anything with an S13 that is unique, but I fell in love with the idea of doing the night supercharged KA setup a long time ago. And when I got the opportunity to get my hands on the parts to put one together, I absolutely had to do it. Let's get into the part you all want to see. So under the hood we have a 96 KA24 that has been rebuilt to factory spec but with gapped rings to try to not explode under the boost of the Eaton Supercharger off a Nissan Frontier. That is mounted to an adapter plate to the original intake manifold, driven off the alternator belt, and provides about 10 psi of boost at any RPM to this KA, which is honestly how they should have sold this engine and car. If they had done that, I believe the reputation of the 240 would have been a lot better, but I'm kind of glad they didn't, because think of how many more would have been wrecked by now if they did. This engine is running on a Megasquirt MS2 standalone computer. It has your normal kind of bolt-ons on it, otherwise the 4-to-1 header that has decided to become rusty and flaky and looking gross, but that's what they do. And a nice radiator on there to keep it cool. But other than that, it's pretty much a KA, including the throttle body, just with a supercharger giving it that little bump of power. And by a little pump, it puts about 250 horsepower, 240 foot-pounds to the wheels. This car is also aided by methanol, or most of the time, water injection with a snow performance kit that provides some cooling for that direct blow supercharger that is not intercooled. Believe it or not, that does keep the temperatures down well enough that this car doesn't need an intercooler in its current configuration and runs and pulls great as long as you keep some water in there. Other odds and ends on the engine, we have gone with a coil-on plug setup instead of the distributor, and I've done a remote oil filter because the supercharger liked to eat through them. Other than that, pretty much a stock-looking engine bay there, and really there's not a ton of modification to the car either. This car did start life as a Hikis 4-wheel steering car. Unfortunately, it was removed before I ever got it, so it is pretty much a bog standard S13 now. It does have coilovers all around and, your basic suspension work, but it's a constant evolution. I ran the car in a street class that didn't allow a lot of modification for many years, but the car is now evolutioning again to be an extreme street car, which means it has a lot more modification. But there's one thing I'm never going to do, and that's I'm never going to cut up the body. I'm going to leave it nice and flat, not wide-bodied out, not cut up. It's going to look exactly like it looks now for as long as I own it. That is a decision I've made, and as time has gone on and seeing stock-bodied S13s has become rarer and rarer, I'm perfectly happy with that decision. Maybe sometimes I'll have a little less dirt and dust on it though, but that's not really important. Inside the car, I have done a suede flocked dash that is just a hobby that I picked up years ago and restores the horribly cracked S13 dashes, but also provides glare resistance. Most of the interior was missing when I got the car. However, I have put back enough to make the rules happy, and it's all it needs to be. At the back, we've got a J30 VLSD and a custom exhaust system that I run because I hate fart cans. And there you go, that's the quick and dirty of my 91 240SX. It's a pretty ingenuitous build, and I'm pretty sure I just came up with the word ingenuitous. Thanks for viewing.